How's it going, guys? I'm the Spartan Critic, and this is my review of the latest Steven Spielberg directed film, Ready Player One, where sci-fi meets virtual reality and pop culture references meets virtual reality also. Now, the movie is based off a highly successful novel written by Ernest Cline, in which the setting takes place in the near future where the world is obsessed with this virtual world called the Oasis. Its creator, Halliday, has passed away, and before his death, he lets the world know that he has left behind 3 keys, which leads him to this ultimate Easter egg hidden in the Oasis, and whoever finds it will claim ownership of the virtual reality world, as well as becoming the most powerful person in the world. Our main hero, Wade, aka Percival as he is called in the Oasis, strives to look for the Easter egg based on his obsession with Halliday, whether it's through the music he loves, the movies, the video games, anything that drove Halliday to creating this virtual reality world that we've come to know of. All the while, a rival tech company led by Ned Sorrento also strives to find the Easter egg for complete control of the Oasis based on money, power, control, and dominance over the free virtual world. And here we have a race against the clock between Wade and the free people of the Oasis and Sorrento's corporate mongering tech company to see who gains the power or control of the Oasis. Now I'm just going to say this right now. I love Ready Player One. And in my opinion, this is by far one of my favorite movies of 2018. Given a lot of thought, this is a great movie by all means. And this has got to do with the setting, the characters, as well as the overall charm. Another thing the film accomplishes so much, and the one thing that I love about this movie, that a lot of Steven Spielberg movies have been kind of missing up to this point, is the sense of adventure. This film is like Indiana Jones. This movie is like Back to the Future, despite the fact that Spielberg hasn't directed it. But you get the sense of adventure when you're inside this virtual world called the Oasis. And I think it's done spectacularly well. And all that credit goes to the performances. Sheridan probably gives one of the best performances I've seen from his early career. Say what you will about his performance as Cyclops in X-Men or Joe or so, but this is by far the definite performance that I'm going to think of Sheridan as both Wade and Percival. Not to be overlooked, but his chemistry with Artemis, played by Olivia Cooke, also shines within the film. In regards to villains, Ben Mendelsohn plays the best representation of a corporate mongrel who looks to turn the Oasis into a restrictive version of its own world, and his performance is relishing as a result of his goals. It kind of reminded me a lot of his other roles, like say The Dark Knight Rises. He relishes in the role spectacularly. And regarding to the pop culture references that are spread out in the film, they actually serve a purpose to progress the plot moving forward, from the likes of the DeLorean, the Iron Giant, even the bike from the anime Akira. All serve a purpose to progress the story and doesn't detract from the overall plot. However, as much as I love the scenes that take place in the Oasis, I wasn't that well versed into the real world setting. The connection between Wade and his aunt and abusive boyfriend really doesn't add that emotional punch to me. And I feel like the emotional aspects that take place in the real world kind of bogs down the movie quite a bit. Now, as far as visuals go, especially the scenes that take place in the Oasis, are some of the best visuals I've seen in a motion picture movie to date. Even the character models of Percival and Artemis, while simple, have great detail and aesthetic to them, even down to the clothes and the hairstyles that each wear as their avatars. The character models are so realistic that it looks like I'm actually watching a realistic looking video game up on the big screen. Not to be overlooked, but the cinematography is on point as usual in the Steven Spielberg movie. From the close-up to medium shots of the characters to the bright lighting in the surroundings, this is kind of easily the best-looking Spielberg film to date. Now, John Williams, a frequent collaborator of Spielberg, was unable to compose music for Ready Player One due to scheduling conflicts with composing The Post and Star Wars The Last Jedi. Oddly enough, The Post was actually directed by Spielberg last year. However, not to be overlooked, but Alvin Silvestri has composed probably his most energetic score to date. His music in Ready Player One reminds me a lot of his other past works, including Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and even Captain America the First Avenger, despite the fact that Captain America came out 7 years ago. But the point I'm trying to say is that his music is bombastic, it's energetic, and it gives you the sense of adventure within his music. And this is by far his most whimsical and, like I said before, bombastic score to date. Aside from the scenes that take place in the real world, Ready Player One, in my opinion that is one of the best films of 2018. And by far Steven Spielberg's best movies to date. Not films, movies. With intriguing characters, a charming story about teens fighting back against the corporate power, and has one of the most imaginable settings in a blockbuster to date. This is a showcase to what ambitious crossovers can accomplish. And if you thought Avengers Infinity War was going to be the most ambitious crossover ever, you haven't seen anything yet until you watch Ready Player One. Plus, the movie is also a celebration of what's to come in the near future. When you really think about it, the rise of virtual reality, the internet, and advances in video games, especially for the dominance of the MMORPG genre, almost makes it more relatable to our world. And if that's the case, I'm down for it. As I stated before, this is without a doubt Steven Spielberg's best movie to date. And if you're like me, a pop culture lover and a lover of video games, movies, and so forth, I think you'll get a kick out of this movie too. And with that said, I present Ready Player One with my prestigious award of Certified Platinum, awarded only for the best of the best, and those films too important to ignore. It is by far imaginative, it's whimsical, and it is without question a film for everyone to experience. As far as alternate recommendations go, the first movie I want to point out is Tron Legacy. While that isn't as close as the Oasis is in terms of video game settings, it's by far another imaginable video game setting that a lot of people can look into and think, I want to live there. Second recommendation goes to another film called Existence, an old 1988 cult classic that tackles virtual reality in a way that's more psychological and more body horror-ish than ever. Plus, it's got a bone gun. Who doesn't want a bone gun? Between those two films, you should find something to your liking. And that's it for me. Until next time, guys, I'm the Spartan Critic, and don't make a movie you promised you know you can't keep.